Pro wrestling talk from the four corners of parts unknown. This is That Wrestling Podcast.
Welcome to That Wrestling Podcast. The most stupendous Wrestlemania is in the books, and we are here to discuss all about it. It's Brian, Kevin, and Joe, along with the man who was live and in person.
You can just refer to me as Mr. WrestleMania from now on.
Mr. So, I almost put that in my notes. That's amazing.
Yeah, Mr. WrestleMania.
Yes, we'll allow that for tonight. But but of course, and you know, right off the bat, well, of course, we got to do what are you wearing? I'm gonna let you go last because you were, I'm sure, in merchandise paradise. So we're gonna build to the grand finale.
That's the next shirt coming to our merchandise paradise.
Yeah,
so, or maybe that'll be our merch store. I'll just get the domain name Merchandise Paradise. And we'll go from there.
I'll take the credit on that one. So, yeah, let's get to it. What are you wearing?
What are you wearing? What are you wearing? What are you wearing today? What are you wearing? What are you wearing? What are you wearing today?
All right, let's begin. We live on location in sunny Florida, even though we're doing this at night right now.
It's Edge.
It is. It's
it's the Edger Taker.
Yeah, if you were watching on the YouTube video, yeah, Kevin has like the blue light special. Edge is about to call us losers, I think. But yeah, what do you got there, my friend, down there in sunny Florida?
Yeah, I did last week. I did not bring a wrestling shirt, and I felt extremely terrible from a work trip. So I am on vacation with my wife and my son, and I brought multiple wrestling shirts, but today earlier, I never had a tank top. I'm big in the tanks, right?
Yes,
so I officially got a Hulkamania tank from the Hulk Beach Shop earlier today. So
nice.
Got to represent for Hulk. You know, he lives in Orlando. He has his shop in Orlando and Clearwater. So I am here representing Hulk Hogan right now on vacation, and
Kevin's going to talk more than he normally does tonight.
Yeah, that's a lot anyway.
I can feel it.
I am drunk. Yes. I'm just going to let you guys.
Can't we mute him?
Was
no.
I will mute myself,
Kevin.
Keep talking, Kevin. You're on mute.
Was the Hogan statue out front of the store?
So we my son Brett and I, we got a photo last year. We recreated the same photo this year, and nerdy as ever. And my wife rolled her eyes, and he was. I've not seen Hulk yet, but Rodman is in town. We have seen his buses everywhere. In my job for the next 3 days is to find Hulk and to give him. I brought my That Wrestling podcast shirt. One. Ooh. If I ever see him, I will get him picture in tow with that shirt.
Well, you are a salesman by trade, so I know you can convince him to do that. So that's
okay, Kevin, I'm gonna up it. If you can get him to do a video promo for this podcast, I will give you $100 cash.
If I body slam him, I will take it. That's the only thing I could do.
All right.
Not this 100 body slam.
Okay.
We'll have a full report on what happens next week.
AKA
when Kevin gets arrested this weekend, trying to pick up Hulk Hogan.
Follow at That WrestlePod for all your late-breaking judicial news of Kevin's
if I late
trial.
Him, is that worth an extra 25?
For maybe
25 to life, maybe.
25 to life.
That's
litigious fees.
Oh yeah, we got
Kevin's mother-in-law. If you're watching on YouTube, is in the video.
In here too,
and she's had a little to drink too. Probably what Kevin's been drinking.
We're not going to ask her what she is wearing. It's
what are you wearing?
I have a sports bra.
Oh.
And a tank top.
And for those of you not watching on YouTube, there's more. Okay,
there is a lot more. It's not just that.
Moolah.
Whoa, that's a lot of shoulders she's showing right there.
My goodness.
See
A new record for show going off the rails in the quickest amount of time.
See you later, Mae Young.
Oh my God.
Wow.
That's all the time we have this week.
She doesn't know who that is, so I guess it's okay.
Yeah, that's good. All right, I'll go really quickly because we already got to pick up the pace. Thank you for the Marchuka crate selection with that one. Joe, what do you have?
Well, I got the Earn Your Scars Rated R Superstar shirt because this guy gave me the edge this past weekend.
Isn't that your wife's shirt?
No, I have my own.
I've seen her in pictures. So
right,
you're wearing
but she bought
and her Triple H. Okay.
She bought
are you wearing a women's?
Kevin, you had your time to speak. Shut up. Mute yourself.
You son of a bitch. You beat.
And by the way, I also have last year's MVP chain as well.
We'll get into that. Yes, we'll get into that. Yeah.
And nice championship behind me too, just to show that you may be Mr. WrestleMania, Jason, but you can just call me the genius.
I won't do that.
We'll get to that.
I'll allow it. Acknowledge me as a genius.
I won't do that.
I thought we were going to say that Joe's shirt is a replica of Kevin's koozies that he got from Jason and myself. It was the shirt edition. All right,
someone
Jay,
put this train back on the track. So
let's hear what you got, my friend.
I went with the Dusty Rhodes Marquee Classics Bionic Elbow. It was available at Access, now available on WWEshop.com. I'm just going to take over from now on. So we're talking about me being at WrestleMania. And the first event that I went to was Friday morning. We went to Access. And this year, Access was a lot different than it was in years past. It used to be, we'll say $50 a ticket. And then you got to go through all the experiences, whether that's the big displays, memorabilia, or the autograph signings. This year, WWE got smart. They only went with a $10 ticket, valid for all 5 days. However, all the experiences were pay to play. Now, what I mean by that is if you wanted to get your picture taken on Miz TV set, it's $25. The KO show, $25. The one thing I did pay for, and there are pictures on our socials at That WrestlePod, we went into the Undertaker's graveyard, and they had all the tombstones from all the WrestleMania victories and all the caskets. A lot of cool stuff, a lot of cool pictures on our social media. And then, of course, there was the store, the Superstore. And that's where, it was like my merchandise paradise, as somebody once said.
Yes.
All the shirts you can imagine. Kevin, it's very similar to what we had at SummerSlam in Vegas. This year, though, of course, there was all the Hall of Fame shirts. Homage had a really big display. Mattel had a huge display of all of the upcoming figure lines. And I know I said last week I was going to do a vlog, but I don't really know how to do that. So I've got some videos. I'm going to create a highlight reel, throw a VO on it, and that'll be up hopefully in the next couple days. But I realized when it's just me, it's not really a vlog. So maybe, this year, the SummerSlam trip to Nashville with 4 of us, it'll be make more sense to vlog from there. But so I bought the Dusty Rhodes shirt, and I bought an Undertaker Hall of Fame shirt just because that one I probably won't wear. It's literally just going to go right into storage. I also picked up, of course, the WrestleMania hoodie, and this year was a little different for my purchases. I bought a lot at the store on site, but the 2 things I bought. I bought the chairs for night 1 and night 2. They were different.
Yeah.
So I bought them off. I just bought them off the website. They're going to ship to my home. And the Access Superstore was really cool. Like I said, WWE got smart this year. They made a lot of money on, these pay to play. They had Alexa's Playground as well. They had a lot of stuff from the Hidden Treasures show on display. Cricket had a really cool 3-round touchscreen game. It was a trivia game. It was where you had to it was like the same picture, but one was a little different. You had to pick the things wrong. And then they had the game Whack-A-Mole.
Oh yeah.
It was Whack-A-Miz. So you had to and depending on your score, you got gift cards for the Access Superstore.
I heard Maurice is really good at that game, by the way.
I've heard that too. So we ended up getting $10 in credit for the store.
Nice.
Which, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, didn't really help the total. I mean, between my wife and I, we spent quite a bit. But so that was the first thing we did was Access, and it was just awesome. We went Friday morning, and then Monday morning, we had to be at the airport at 11. We went over there at 9. Mainly, I went to see if I could find the Cody shirt, and they were all sold out. So it'll be an online purchase for that. But
I know they were doing podcast recordings there. I saw Ryan Satin had a bunch of guests. Did you catch a glimpse of any of that?
Yeah, so I didn't see any of Ryan Satin's podcast, but I did see the guys in Cheap Heat. They did one with Drew McIntyre.
Okay.
And
I listened to that one.
If you are new to the show, we have a little bit of history with Peter Rosenberg and the guys from Cheap Heat. So last summer, Brian chose not to go. Brian chose not to come to Las Vegas. And then this happened after I told Peter Rosenberg that story.
Yeah.
Brian, you are a confirmed repug individual. Not even individual. You're a repug individual for skipping this event. Bad guy, bad friend, bad supporter of the podcast. Dare I say, and this is worse than all of it, not a great guy.
Oh, memories.
Come on, man. Not this.
Okay, so the follow-up, I talked to Peter and I said, hey, you know, you did a promo for me in Vegas. He goes, oh, because your friend didn't come, right? And I said, yeah, he didn't go to Vegas, and you cut a great promo, and it was awesome. And then Stat Guy Greg goes, was he here now? I'm like, nope, didn't come here either. So
come on, man.
That was a lot of fun. And then I met Dipperstein, Brian.
Oh yeah,
Dip is Rosenberg's agent. I also found out he's MJF's agent, and I think he's Cody's agent too.
Wow.
So all the talk about Cody's long contract, I think Dip is the one that made it happen. Sorry, real funny story about Dipperstein. Brian, you'll get this, but I don't know if the other two will. So we were talking, and I had my TWP shirt on. He goes, oh, what's that? And I said, oh, that's just my podcast with me and my friends. And he's like, oh, that's cool. He goes, where are you guys from? And I said, oh, we're from LA. And he goes, oh, that's where I'm from. And then my wife chimes in. She goes, well, it's actually Santa Clarita. Brian, without thinking twice, literally at the exact same time, we looked at each other and both said, well, LA at Jace.
Yes.
It was the most perfect thing ever. We got pictures, and it was cool. Three great guys. So SummerSlam in Nashville, the plan as of now is for the four of us to go. I'm sure they'll do something there, and maybe Brian will actually show up.
Chance of redemption, yeah.
Yeah. So that was they did the live podcast and stuff, and then they did the panels as well. Like at Comic-Con, they do panels.
Oh, sure.
But again, it was pay to play, and they were like $100 to $200 a ticket to get into these panels. So we didn't do that. I mean, there was really no reason. Then Friday, we went back to our resort, and my wife and I, we lived in Dallas for 6 years before we moved to Los Angeles. So we met up with some people and some friends, and we were at a sports bar. And I asked the guy, I said, hey, can you guys put Fox on one of these TVs in the sports bar? He goes, yeah, let me go do that. So about 5 minutes later, he comes out and he goes, hey, man, I'm sorry. Marriott doesn't allow us to put wrestling on the TVs. And I looked at him and I said, do you guys show football? And he's like, well, yeah, we do that all the time. And I'm like, well, wrestling's, WWE's targeted to kids. It's PG. And he's like, yeah, the rules. So I'm like, all right, I'm a few Dallas Blondes in, and that's a beer. That's not women.
Yeah.
I pull up Twitter, and I'm drafting a very aggressive tweet to Marriott about them not allowing wrestling on television in their sports bars where they show football. The manager comes back out and he goes, "Hey, I called somebody, and since you guys are sitting next to this little TV, we can put it on this little TV." And I'm like, all right.
Banished to the corner or something.
Yeah. So that was that. And of course, when you're around non-wrestling fans as adults, you catch the look of shame. And then if you're in Texas, you talk about pro wrestling, it's pretty much the same response. "Oh, well, when I was younger, I used to watch the Von Erichs. Did you know about them?" And my response to that was, "Yeah, they're all dead except for Kevin."
Oh,
and so that conversation didn't really go that well. But drank a bunch of Dallas.
Well, you're so personable with that one. I don't see why it didn't go well.
right.
Yeah, so that was that. And then Saturday morning, we went to NXT Stand and Deliver. And this was down at the American Airlines Center. It's where the Mavs play and the Stars play. And when I lived there, my radio station was literally right next door. So it was kind of cool to go down there, downtown Dallas. And the skyline is completely different. There are so many like apartment buildings and hotels in downtown Dallas that weren't there 7 years ago when I left. So it was pretty cool to see that. And fourth row, facing the hard cam for Stand and Deliver. Some people told me they did see me and my bald head, but I haven't gone back to watch it yet. And it was, last week we talked about it. Are they going to fill the arena? What's it going to be like for these guys who've never worked anywhere outside of the Performance Center? Well, it was awesome. Yes, the upper bowl was tarped off. However, there was probably 4,000 people there. It was a great show overall. And two guys won me over who I never really had any interest in. And that was Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode.
Whoa.
Yes.
Dolph especially, because you guys have history.
Well, yeah, he blew me off once,
yes.
But I'm over that. I don't hold grudges.
Yeah.
So the Bobby Roode as a second, he was just all in. And from my time at wrestling school, I'd learned, managers have to do all these things and react to everything. And it was pretty awesome. So go back and watch Dolph Ziggler and Braun Breaker from Stand and Deliver, and keep an eye on Robert Roode, some of the stuff he does. The ladder match, I don't know if you've seen some of these highlights. Grayson Waller is my new favorite, and he about killed himself jumping off the very
clip,
top. Yeah. And that was 4 feet in front of us, literally. And you got to see security in action. Obviously, the barriers for NXT were like they were on TV. They're those clear, right? They're not metal. They're not bike racks. They're not black like they are for WWE television. And as action was going on in the ring, security, man, they went in and they got everything back in working order, and they got the ladders propped up perfect so that when the guy went through, it didn't bust into the crowd, because it could have been some serious shit happen to those guys in the front row. But of course, it was just a great experience being that close. And, it's a big arena, but it felt like a small setting. Like I said, probably about 4,000 people. There was an Andre Chase moment through the crowd, Chase University, which was awesome. You will never guess who they stopped and yelled at in the crowd. Famous wrestling fan from over the years. You would know this person if you saw this person. Any guesses?
Brock Lesnar guy?
No. Joe, you got one?
I can't think of one off the top of my head. No. Angry Miz Girl.
Sign Guy. Remember Sign Guy?
Yeah,
the blue
the
garage shirt and the red hat? Yeah, so he was there, and they stopped and yelled at him a bit. So Chase U had their moment. Braun Breaker was so fast. I mean, if you take away anything from watching him live, he's so fast.
Yeah.
But I don't think we're really going to do too much Stand and Deliver content. But Mandy Rose, squeaked out the women's 4-way, and new NXT women's tag champs, Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai, who awesome in person. I mean, it's, Gigi and the other one, I'm blanking on the name, but
JC Jane.
yes. So if you have the chance to go to an NXT show in an arena at Full Sail or whatever it's called now, go do it. I mean, it's not the black and gold NXT, but it's a great time. And of course, the staple from the black and gold NXT is Tommaso Ciampa. He fought the Sopranos looking guy. And I don't know who was with him. They said his name was AJ Bellante. Was he from the Sopranos?
I don't know. I saw that.
I have no idea.
Too.
Yeah. So he was second into that. But how
was the crowd as far as like, were they into the show? You've been to other takeovers where people, how was the vibe? Because I haven't seen a minute of it yet.
Yeah, I mean, they were all about it. The NXT fans are loyal. And of course, fucking assholes, AEW chants. And I'm like, and I turn around, I'm like, what an asshole. Yeah. Like I said it loud enough so I was heard, and a lot of people agreed with me. And he was chanting Tony Khan, and then he was yelling things like old gimmicks, for Ziggler. Yeah. For Ziggler, he was chanting Spirit Squad and Nikki. And where's
never
Savo,
heard that before?
Right. The golfer when they did the golfing thing, like
that's right, Kerwin White.
It was just like it's like shut the fuck up. I've been told that I'm a gatekeeper because I don't like that stuff, and I don't like when people wear an AEW shirt to WWE, and I'm not a gatekeeper. I just fucking disrespectful to the talent. Did you just call me a gatekeeper, Kevin? Your phone cut out.
Just don't like idiots.
Well, that too. Yeah. So
yeah, and I remember being the gatekeeper because when we met at the Revolution, I was wearing an NXT shirt when we met at the Airbnb with no intention of wearing it to the show that night. I just wanted to piss you off.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with that mindset. Like, why would you do you know what you're doing? You know what you're doing. The AEW fan base, they know what they're doing. And if you can't afford it, if you're can't afford another shirt, that's fine. I understand those things too. But 99% of the time, they're wearing the shirt to think they're cool because they're wearing an AEW shirt to a WWE event, which did happen with one of my friends at WrestleMania that I quickly was like, okay, I got to go because he had a Hook shirt on. But besides the point. WrestleMania night 1, WrestleMania Saturday. Our seats for Saturday were in the back of the floor. We were on the field, but towards the back. So when I post the videos or photos, my highlight reel, not really much from night 1 because I was so far away. It's just not worth it. Even with my phone, which, the 13 Max for the iPhone, great camera, which we'll get into later. And if you watch our socials this weekend, how great my camera was later in the weekend. But where we were at, not much Monday night. The crowd was into it the whole time. Unfortunately, during Charlotte and Ronda, there were some jack-offs that were fighting in the crowd. And everyone was fucking worried about that. And that just drove me nuts. The one absolute highlight was for some reason, they were filming our section a lot. And I don't know if that's just for actual reaction or B-roll reaction, but I was just over the top. I was just like, whatever. So when Cody did the elbow, the jabs, there was a gentleman in the next section, probably in his late 50s. When Cody did that, this guy jumped out of legit out of it, just was like, yeah, it was the best reaction ever. So I do hope somehow that gets somewhere because it was amazing. One of my buddies works in documentaries, and I texted him and I said, hey, they're filming a lot of reaction, so if you see me in anything, please put me in something because I want to be put in something. The one time I don't wear a That Wrestling Podcast shirt to the event, but so that was Saturday night. And then Sunday, we had found out that a friend of ours wanted to take his son to WrestleMania. They didn't have tickets. So I gave him ours for night 2. And we then were able to buy tickets, a little closer. My wife is only 5 feet tall, so she had a hard time seeing to begin with. So she wanted to be up a little higher, a little closer. So we had really good seats for that. And then during the women's 4-way tag match, I got the text. Can we put that screenshot up right now, please? I had 2 people bounce. Would you like my tickets on the floor? And I said, well, my wife is short. Where are they? 6th row.
Yeah.
Hard cam side.
Boom.
Yeah.
And I was like, yes, what do we have to do? Within 10 seconds, she texted me the tickets. So, I don't know how this whole the technology side of ticketing is unbelievable. So, by the time we had to go get a bracelet and made our way down to the floor, then trying to find section C, we missed the introductions for Edge and AJ. But we got to see Edge and AJ, the match from 15 feet away. We got to see that classic between the Irish Mafia and the New Day that lasted a minute 40.
Yeah.
We got to see Pat McAfee and Austin Theory with Vince McMahon. And midway through the match, they wheeled out right next to us the cooler of beers. So
What kind of, by the way?
It was American Lager, the new Broken Skull beer.
Yeah, they showed enough close-ups of it.
It was literally sitting within 5 feet from where we were. And I'm like, oh man, I really, really want one of these. And I was like, oh, well, that means Stone Cold's coming out. And there was a young man sitting in front of us, probably 12 years old. When the glass hit, he went apeshit. And I'm not gonna lie, this 45-year-old man went crazy as well. There's a video of it. My wife shot it. I'm jumping up and down. I high-fived the kid. I just thought it was cool.
That's awesome.
And then the main event, and I made that comment earlier about my phone. I was texting pictures to you guys, and Brian posted on socials. I was just blown away at the quality of the photos. I don't own a real camera. I don't really even know anybody that does, but man,
right.
It was an electric night.
Yeah.
So, of course, sitting in row 6, you get a consolation gift to take home with you.
Oh.
So, earlier I'd mentioned I bought the chairs earlier in the day because I didn't think I'd be anywhere near them to get one. So we and my wife grabbed 2 chairs. Now, here's what's crazy, and I'm not encouraging this, but there was a lot of people that weren't sitting in our sections that were coming in jacking chairs. They're not assigned. They're just, so we probably could have grabbed 4 if we wanted to, but we took 2. And then my plan was walking out. If we saw a kid with his parents, I was going to give it to a kid.
Aww.
But where we were walking out, all the parents with kids were the people in our section who already had chairs.
Yeah.
So there's a dude walking, and he saw my chair. He goes, "Oh my God, did you buy that here?" And I said, "No, we were sitting in the section." He goes, "Oh, that's awesome." And I'm like, "Here." I just gave it to him. He goes, "Are you serious?" And I said, "Yeah." I'm like, "I have 2. See?" I was like, "Just do something good for someone else in the future." And he's like, "Oh, that's so awesome. Thank you." So then I shipped the other one here to my house from Dallas Monday morning. And it'll be arriving soon. So technically I'll have 3, but luckily one of my friends from Dallas who was at night 1 was not at night 2, and he has agreed to just pay for the shipping. So the chair that I shipped from Dallas to LA is going from LA back to Dallas, and he's going to cover the my wife is so pissed at me. She is so bad. She goes, "Why don't you just call FedEx? Tell them not to deliver it, and then Chris will come." And I'm just like, nah.
That's awesome.
And then after we got back, so, with Central Time, the event ended around 11. By the time we got back to our hotel, it was 12:30. And we were leaving the next morning. And, I was in the 6th row at WrestleMania. Like, I've been ringside before. I've been in good seats before, but never that big never that good at a WrestleMania. And my wife, she was so pissed. She's like, "You got to go to bed. Your phone light is too bright," because I couldn't stop looking at the photos and the videos. And and this was the first real year back for WrestleMania since the pandemic.
Right.
And I feel like that's why I was like, you know what? I'm going to buy the chairs. Why not? It was $300, but whatever. It'll sit, back here, or I'll be sitting on the chair when I do the show. Like, whatever. It was an amazing experience. To me, it was a great WrestleMania, and we'll get into what you guys think, as we go in, through the nights and stuff. But fuck, man, I could not stop smiling the whole weekend.
All right, so hopefully this isn't like, because of your 6th row and your amazing experience, which thank you for sharing with us. You've been an
remember
opponent.
That time I was in the 6th row at WrestleMania?
Yes. We just heard about it. How do you feel about 2 nights of Mania now? Yeah. Because you've been like Mr. It doesn't need to be 2 nights. How do you feel about it now?
I don't think it needs to be 2 nights, but you know what? For the experience, we were tired. We went to NXT Saturday morning. Yeah. We got back to the hotel and we rested for an hour, had room service, and then got showered and dressed and went down. And where we were at, we were in a town called Grapevine, and it was about 20 miles from Arlington. But then once you got within a 5-mile radius of Arlington, it was all WrestleMania traffic. Parking was $60. Normally for Cowboy games, it's $100. Woo! However, this is a teachable moment to anybody going to an event at a stadium. Even if there's a sign that says how much parking is, ask them how much it is. Sign said $60. And I said, "Oh, well, how much is it?" And the guy says, "Well, if you give me cash, it'll be 40 cash." Or he goes, "If you give me cash, it'll be 40. So they were scamming off the top of people paying cash. So, everybody's trying to get a piece. So I always ask. But 2 nights, it was an amazing experience. Next year, it's here in LA.
And 2 nights.
2 nights, and I'll be coming home. I'll be coming home sleeping in my own bed. Man, I don't know. Can you maintain that every year? You had Stone Cold both nights. You had The Undertaker both nights.
A lot.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm not trying to go. I'm not trying to be, analyze everything because we're about to do that. But do it once. Form your own opinion.
Yeah.
I will say this. This year's, it seemed to have been very fast for 2 nights.
Well, remember, they were probably about 4-hour cards, maybe 5.
Fast.
There was no pre-show matches, kickoff matches.
Right. That helps.
Just went right into the show. So maybe that helps with the burnout idea, right? Because I remember the last big Mania that was one night was in New York, and I think they had 4 kickoff show matches, right? So like 2 that first hour, because a 2-hour kickoff to the first hour to the second hour, and then you had that super long card where Becky, Charlotte, and Ronda didn't actually start till like 12:10 in the morning or something.
Crazy.
I don't know.
Yeah, and I think you were over my house for that, and it's just like you had like an hour and a half drive, and I'm like, dude, you don't have to stay for that.
Yeah, like this is ridiculous. Like, what are we doing here? Well, dude, that's awesome, and thanks for sharing all that. And yeah, I can't wait to see the completed video and everything. And let's get into the card, guys. We'll run through everything. I kind of got my notes here on everything. So we opened Saturday. It was Rick Boogs and Nakamura versus the Usos. Thought the match was okay, and then Boogs gets injured. Did you guys think it was a shoot injury? Because I did not, but
I didn't, but my wife did, because she went, fool me once, shame on you, because it was the same knee. When he faked the injury to get into it, she was like, that's the same one. He's faking. And I'm like, I don't know. That looks pretty bad. So yeah.
I didn't think
she thought it was fake.
That clearly, as it turns out, yeah, that is he like tore his quad essentially, I think is what they're saying. And so that kind of, ends up messing up the rest of the match. I kind of enjoyed the Mike's Hard Lemonade iced tea ring gear. That was very odd and ridiculous, but
the guitar jam was awesome live.
I bet. I was hoping
So
for the multiple guitars, but Boogs is fun, man. It's a sad thing.
Too bad.
Go buy his shirt to support his. He ain't gonna be working shows for a while. So
worst part about it was the match was what, 6 minutes?
Probably, yeah. It wasn't that long because then they kind of probably had to wrap things up once the injury happened.
Yeah.
Happy Corbin, Drew McIntyre. I think we all expected Drew to win.
Except for
Not
Jason.
all of us, that's right. Jason bucked the odds.
But we did do the countdown to our picks last week. 3, 2, 1, Drew.
I thought they did a good job of putting. Oh, what's that, Kev? I'm sorry.
It was what it was.
Yeah, I thought they did a good job of putting doubt into it with end of days. They made a big deal about that.
I wish they would have made a bigger deal about it before WrestleMania,
right?
Because they kept saying no one's ever kicked out of End of Days. I didn't know that.
Yeah, but I think that would have just telegraphed that he was going to kick out of End of Days.
Okay, you got a point. I was pleasantly surprised with that match, and it was a Happy Corbin match where I was entertained.
And
Drew, I'm all in on Corbin now. I don't care what anybody says. Between the match and he was on Graves' podcast on Friday. This guy, you guys should listen to that after the bell. Dude loves his barbecue. He's like a pit master. He knows all the stuff they were talking about. I didn't know any of it because I don't know anything about barbecuing and grilling, but I know Brian, you love that shit. So you and Corbin could be friends.
I like Drew's visual too of Drew using Angela to slice the ropes. That was
great. The place went nuts.
That was good.
Oh yeah,
that was good. Logan Paul and The Miz versus the Mysterios. Kevin, why don't you give your thoughts on this one, man?
Logan Paul looked like $1 million.
Hell yeah, he did. Hell yeah.
Well, actually, the necklace around his neck is worth $5 million.
$4.5 million. It was a graded 10 Charizard. Like a 1-inch thick case. I thought Logan Paul looked buff and ripped. I thought he looked like he belonged in the ring. And I love the end. The double 619 was nice, but the end where the ending and then the Miz looked, when they were holding hands and then are raising fists, and he looked right at him, and Miz with his eyes, skull crushing finale, boom, up the ramp. I thought it was nice. It wasn't like, okay, we're going to be friends, right? It was like, okay, now I'm perfect. We got the W.
I'm done with you.
I'm doing my own thing.
Don't steal my spotlight.
The W at WrestleMania. See you later.
Well, it came out. It came out a couple days after WrestleMania. I think it was on Tuesday. Logan Paul had that written in the contract that he was to be made a babyface. So that's why that happened.
Yeah.
I don't see how that works because I thought Miz was the one who did the turn. I'm like, all right, Miz is a good guy now.
Too. I thought so too. But
you can't be a good guy when you're flossing about how rich you are.
Right.
It's wrestling 101.
Yeah.
Great point, Joe.
It was a fun match.
It was a lot of fun. Paul was fantastic. I imagine, it came on TV, and Jay, you could say, but when he was doing the Three Amigos and the splash,
I loved every minute of it.
Right?
I loved every minute of that. It's heel shit, and it was awesome. It was awesome. And I still love the Miz. I got 2 Miz shirts. I picked up over the weekend as well. So
yeah,
same design. 2 different colors.
Good stuff there. I thought Dominic looked good too, and he's always hit or miss.
Yeah,
I thought he looked pretty good. But
his ring gear was nice.
It was an homage to his dad, Eddie.
Yeah, Eddie.
ECW.
Papa Eddie.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, red, white, blue. Yep, I got it. All right. So then Stephanie comes out. She introduces Gable Steveson. So happy times there. Bianca versus Becky. Great intros, both of them.
Yeah.
Brian, they came out that Becky got signed. She's going to be in a Marvel movie.
Yes.
Wait,
that's
what?
why the Marvel. Yeah.
something. Yep. So,
But they haven't said who. They haven't said what she's going to do.
Hey, repeat.
Becky is going to be in a Marvel Cinematic Universe movie/show. That's why she got the Marvel-looking entrance before the video and before her match.
Yeah, the video.
Maybe
That
Brian will
probably
watch
did.
one now.
We'll see.
Still won't.
Probably not.
Likey.
We'll see. Yeah, Bianca got the Texas Southern University marching band to play her intro. I love that. Guys, was this the best match of the entire weekend?
No, but it was close.
But it was damn good.
Okay.
It was damn
No,
good.
I don't think it was the best. It was really good, though.
It was really good. It was like I expected it to be good, but I was like, no, this is almost perfect.
And then this is a compliment to that match because there were so many matches upon both weekends where it was like, okay, I would say overall this was one of the best Manias I can remember in recent times. But that's just a compliment to that match because it's an argument for so many other matches because there's so many damn good events. Like both nights were just amazing. So
Yeah.
This was one of those matches where I could watch again in the future. That's how good it was. You know how we always pick like, oh, it's Mania season. I'm going to watch Undertaker and Shawn. I'm going to watch Stone Cold and Bret Hart. I'm going to watch the Firefly Funhouse because it was ridiculous. But I think this will be one of those matches where, you know what, I'm going to watch Bianca and Becky.
The thing that I love in that match, Bianca needs Becky. Becky is such an amazing superstar, right? She can do whatever she wants. She can propel herself and an opponent. Bianca's so happy, such a good face. I look forward to seeing what she does in the future because I feel like she needs a little bit of a Becky to make her, I don't want to say relevant because Bianca is such an amazing talent. I feel like she needs the incredible heel to help propel herself. But the match was amazing. I would give it one of the best of the overall weekend.
So this was one that I went back and watched. And the reason I went back and watched, I don't know if you guys saw this, when the band came out, Corey Graves said, "What the hell is this?" And people thought it was racist. I'm going to tell you. When the band came out, I said,
the people
"What the hell is
around
this?"
you? Well,
no,
no,
online.
of course not. Never mind.
No,
you wouldn't have
couldn't
been
hear
able to
it.
heard.
Corey
Never mind.
Graves
Scratch
was
that
racist?
from the record. Of course not.
Yeah, Corey Graves
Corey said it. Yeah.
asked, "What the hell is this?" And Texas Southern is a what is it? HBCU,
Right. Historically black college. Yeah.
And so people online were just like, "He's racist. He's racist." No, he just asked the same question that everybody in the fucking stadium asked.
Yeah. What
the hell
on?
is this?
Yeah.
No, what the hell is this? So that's what drove me nuts, and that's why I went back and watched it the next day because I wanted to see, like, if there was any tone to it. And that's not the case. I've learned. I've come to the conclusion this week. I fucking hate people on Twitter.
Yeah.
Except you guys.
And you can follow him at Chewy Lewis.
Let me ask you this.
His count was Chewy Lewis 76.
You were there in person. Like, we watched it on TV. The band were like moving and playing their instruments, like, you know, in the rhythm, moving. How was it in person?
It looked cool. Yeah, it looked cool. I think that I never played an instrument. I wasn't in the band. But I see stuff like what Ohio State's marching band does.
Yeah,
I'm like,
that's fun.
That shit's cool.
That's
My
fun.
nephew is 15. He's a freshman in high school. And he's in the band. And I see some of the stuff he's doing. And I'm like, this is pretty great. And anything, I'm a sucker for a big WrestleMania entrance.
Yeah.
You know, I love it all.
Great.
So, yeah, overall. But the thing that, of course, drove me nuts was the people accusing Corey Graves of being racist, which is fucking stupid.
Those Twitter fans, fuck them.
I didn't see any of that. You gotta start muting some people.
I didn't see it, but I avoid that. Whenever I see it, I'm just like, nope, I want it to be a happy place. So
yeah, I felt the emotion of this story, right? This has been going on since SummerSlam. I felt Becky's desperation to hold on to the title. You felt Bianca's drive to win it back. Bianca, of course, wins. I thought that was fantastic. It
was great.
Yeah. Seth versus a mystery opponent of Mr. McMahon's choosing. Seth comes out. He gets the choir, the little kitty choir to do the whoa. That's fun. And then he waits. And we don't get Vince. We don't get Shane. The lights go out. Did anyone think it was Undertaker or Bray? Because Taker especially ends the Hall of Fame speech with "Never say never."
For a moment, I thought
Yep.
Undertaker.
Yeah.
And then you hear the dun dun. Wrestling has more than one royal family. I have said for the last couple. All right,
Are you about to eat a plate like I am too?
Yeah, I'm about to eat up.
I'm about to get out. I'm going to get leftovers because I am prepared to eat so much of this plate.
My goodness.
So I'm the one who said Cody will not look like a superstar next to Rollins, Reigns, Brock. WWE makes fucking stars, superstars.
Yeah.
The entrance, I mean, that's another one. I went back the next day to watch the entrance, and yes, I was wrong.
That's a good man.
I feel
right
that
there.
Cody is
Good
going
man.
to be an A+ player, and I was wrong.
It is now my turn to eat this too, because I was also saying like he should have been in the tag match with Miz. That's where he belonged. And I was getting bored with the teasing. And I said, like, he should have debuted before. Wow. I watched that the next day, I think 5 times, because it was just like one of those. I'm getting chills right now just thinking of that. They made him look like the biggest star of the weekend when they had Stone Cold and The Undertaker there.
And Triple H.
And Triple H. Like, you just forgot about everything he did in AEW. You forgot about everything. This was the guy of the weekend. And I think it's a rule now. If you jump companies, you have to keep your theme song.
Yes! Okay, so in radio, there was something I had learned early on. So Brian and I started in Pittsburgh. And, one of the things they said was, if you want to make it here and you want to work here, you got to go somewhere else.
Yes, they did. Yep. 100%.
Learn your craft somewhere else and then come back.
Yep.
And since Saturday, and I don't know if anybody else does this, sometimes there's just songs that get stuck in your head. Kingdom. It's the only thing I've been humming, singing, whatever for 4 days. I haven't even looked at Spotify. I haven't done anything. It's just in my head all the time. I'm thinking about the lyrics now because the lyrics are about him leaving and going on his own. And now he's back. And I've watched the David Shoemaker interview, which happened right after the match. And then he spoke to Ariel Helwani. It's on YouTube. Look for BT Sports. It was good. And then I watched the media scrum from Denise Salcedo's YouTube channel. She was on my flight on the way home, by the way, too.
No shit.
I didn't talk to her because I didn't want to be a creep because she was dealing with creeps all weekend.
I'm sure
in Dallas. But yeah, I've watched a lot of Cody content since Saturday. Like I said, I did not buy the shirt. When we walked out Saturday night, I stopped at the stand and they were all sold out.
Yeah.
And he's got 3 shirts on WWE Shop. His Pro Wrestling Tee store is still open. So if you want to get some of those, because they're probably going to go away very soon.
Yeah, won't be much longer. It was special. I'll tell you guys because I was avoiding spoilers because Joe and I we had our charity event, but I specifically brought my personal laptop to the hotel. And at Joe, you left, at a nice late hour, and after the night wrapped up, probably about 2:30 in the morning, I said I'm going to allow myself to go on Twitter just to see that. If it happened.
You ruined it.
I didn't ruin it.
You ruined it. I avoided my phone, the internet, everything until I played the replay at Peacock the next morning.
Wow.
And it's like I was watching it live. Unfortunately, when Cody came out, my wife was taking a nap because she was exhausted from the night before. Yeah. So I'm like, this is me.
Well, and to show you how much of a lunatic I am, I see that. How else do you think that at that WrestlePod, we had a Cody recap tribute video
Retrospect
at like 9 in the morning. Boom.
I didn't do it.
I didn't see it because I still didn't watch Mania yet. I didn't know Cody made it till like 1 o'clock the next day.
I whipped that up
Okay.
at like 4 in the morning, and then I finally went to bed because I was buzzing from seeing that. So anyway, yeah, and the match was fun. The callback to Stardust with the cartwheel and that thing.
I thought it was the match of the weekend. Like technically, I thought it was the best match of the
moment
weekend.
of the weekend, I would think. Well, I don't know.
I disagree.
There's more. Yeah, you're right.
I didn't like the match. I like the ending, and then I went back and watched the match again. I'm like, okay, this is better. I think it's obviously better with the commentary than trying to, in arena. So
yeah.
I
love the match.
I had a weird travel situation for WrestleMania Night 1.
We're not talking negatives. It's all positive stuff. Oh, that was another thing. Me and Brian's
positives. So my first match was that exact match. Me watching. So I was in a negative situation, and I really wanted a positive outcome for the rest of the night. So I was only going for positives. And it was Seth versus Cody, and Cody seeing come up, and just him walking down $1 million, same theme music. Joe touched base on, and I'm just like, okay, I didn't know what his music was going to be, and he came out to that, and it was like he looked like $1 million, right? And you see the 3D,
right? The graphic,
American Nightmare,
augmented. It's called augmented reality.
And then the pieces merging into the neck tat. It was awesome. And then you see Cody coming up, wearing the full garb, looking awesome. It was something where you knew
he didn't like Cody's gear. He didn't like it.
He didn't.
But he was hoping it was Veer.
It set up the match, and both those guys just looked so good. Seth and Cody, and of course we'll touch base on Monday Night Raw, but it was like that match.
No, we won't.
We won't have time.
We don't have time.
Fantastic on
the hotline.
One of my favorite matches of overall from night 1.
I think this is it's a win-win for everyone. Cody's obviously happy. Jay, you heard the interviews, the presser. He's happy. It's buzz for WWE, which I think really needed it. And for AEW, this is validation that, Cody was seen as such a big deal, right? And it's the same character. It's the same music. It's the same American Nightmare, right? I think that shows that AEW is the big league. Yes, they lose Cody. He's not on the roster. But I think it shows that it's not like, the minor leagues, we got to reinvent you. You know what I mean?
No.
Future podcast.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We got to move on. We got
to move on.
Even though Cody was the big thing, we'll get into this another time.
Any final word though on 52-48? We got to put a bow on it.
I would say I won. Thank you.
It's all good.
Yeah.
Haven't been more happy to be wrong, right? It's all good.
All right. Enjoy your day.
Here's the final thought on it. Jason was more correct than wrong.
Listen to me.
Yes, he was by a couple
by
of points
4%.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
All right. So we get the Hall of Fame introductions. Steiner, you look back at the Hall of Fame. The Steiners were great. Charmel was fine. Vader's family was good.
The only thing that matters to me about this Hall of Fame was Undertaker. I didn't care about the others. The only one I watched was the Undertaker because I was at the bar, came up, and Undertaker was just about to start.
He was very motivational speaker.
Oh, he was TED Talk-mania right there.
I was like, what? That's how it is. I did love though. Me and Joe were texting that tribute to Shad, and when JTG came out with his son, with Shad's son, and they did the Crime Time handshake deal.
No, I didn't.
Was your wife chopping onions too at the time, and it was just really annoying?
That got me. I literally said out loud, I went, "Oh shit."
I thought Scott Steiner did an amazing job with his speech. And we'll just keep it short like he did. I thought he did a great job.
I have not seen Ronda versus Charlotte, so
neither did I. Fast forwarded.
It was a fun ending, ref bump.
fun ending. I will agree with Jay. It was a fun ending.
Ronda complaining that she tapped. Well, there was no ref, so she didn't technically tap yet. So overall,
dramatic ending.
Yeah,
but I was surprised with the ending.
Yeah, and then obviously leading into the KO show, Stone Cold and everything was for me watching it live, and of course we had to watch a lot of it on the screen because it was in the crowd and it was nowhere near us.
Right.
I thought it went a little too long, but I get it. It's Stone Cold. And the fact he was taking bumps on the floor, on the stage, on concrete, it's like, what the hell?
It delivered, I thought.
It was the you said it earlier, Cody was the moment. No, this was the moment of the weekend, was just the turn into the match, which we all hoped it would happen. Jason predicted it'd be Stone Cold. So I said it could only be against Kevin Owens, and they delivered on that one. And it was awesome. I didn't think it lasted too long. It reminded me of that feeling I had of Rock Hogan.
Yeah.
In the building, it was too long. But again, if it was commentary, I bet
commentary was loving it.
I bet you I would enjoy it. Which again, I just haven't had time to go back and watch it. It's definitely on my list of things to do.
Like you said, there's part of it that you can't even see what's going on, really.
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah. Lot of fun. Beer bash. Byron Saxton, for whatever reason, gets a stunner. Why not?
Because remember, 2 years ago at the WrestleMania in the
day.
Performance Center, he Austin went to kick him in the gut and he kicked Saxton in the dick. So it was just a makeup, and I thought it was fun. I'm glad. Byron
it's
got
fine.
it.
It's just like, Byron, what are you doing? But
stupid enough to go in the ring with Austin while he's drinking.
It delivered though. I mean, as far as the physicality of it, I was more than happy that it turned out how it did.
The unofficial count for the 2 nights was 49 beers thrown.
Night 2, Triple H welcomes us. He leaves his boots in the ring to signify the end of his wrestling career. Good way to start, right?
I loved it.
Yeah,
Triple H is my guy.
Yep.
Being that I was on the hard cam side, I was able to get my picture that I always wanted to get of him spitting up in the air. And I mean, it sucks that he's done, but I love that I got to see that, like facing it, not from the side or on the screen.
Very cool way to put a official bow on your career. We start with RK Bro, Alpha Academy Street Profits. Guys, I love this match. It delivered. I wasn't surprised that it delivered, but I was just like, yes, of course. How about Riddle's top rope springboard RKO onto Montez? My God.
Fantastic.
RK Bro, they win. You get the post match, the Profits, they want a toast. And
I was hoping for the heel turn. I was
begging for it.
I was good enough. I was like, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. And then
thought it might happen. But yeah, we had
Gabe Stevenson comes in
moment and Chad knocking the cup out of his hand. I mean, that was fun. So they're obviously they are pushing him to the moon, whenever he's officially joined. But that was fun. Omos and Lashley. It was what it was, couple of spears, and we know where this leads to on Monday Night Raw with MVP turning on Lashley. Yes, you called that.
Yes, you did.
You were 1 night early, but you had it exactly right. Sammy and Knoxville. I read a review and it summed it up perfectly. This was Home Alone as a wrestling match.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
That's Home Alone, right?
I didn't know. I never really watched Jackass. And there was a lot of that shit I didn't even know what it was about. But for me, I normally don't like that kind of stuff. But I'm not shitting over it because it was entertaining. It was fun. It was fun for me.
Mm-hmm.
It was exactly what we said it would be. So whenever we were sending text messages going, wow, this is fun. It's like, we said that.
Yeah,
we were hoping for it, and they delivered.
They delivered on what we hoped for.
And celebrities don't lose at WrestleMania.
I know. I'll know that for next year, Joe. I'm following that to a T on the picks.
and maybe we'll win. But I'll say this. So I was at Hogan's Hangout, right, in Clearwater, and I was probably with 50, 60 fellow wrestling nerds, along with my wife and I. And I will say this: that match, that probably got the biggest reaction out of anything, just with laughter.
I believe it. It was good. Hilarious.
And the biggest part was the hand. The
hand, yes. The giant hand.
Mark Henry's son turned heel.
Exactly.
Amazing.
It was like Mark Henry put, I'm glad I could get cross-generational talent or something.
All I do is make cross-generational talent.
Yes. I think I marked the most for Wee Man.
Like
the body slam he did. Yeah, that was great.
In body slamming him, and then people were doing memes with Wee Man holding Sammy versus Hulk.
And Andre.
But it was.
Did you catch on commentary when McAfee said it looks like Lesnar taught him something?
Oh, I did not.
From the viral video.
Yeah.
When I was watching,
better than what it should have been.
I watched that whole match. Did not even realize this. They set the hand up when they did, because I was right good. Even. This was before we went down to the floor. We were right even with the announce table, which is right where that thing was. And as soon as I saw it, I just started laughing. I was like, "Yes, I'm getting the one thing I wanted out of this match." So
that's a sign of a good show, then, because you were focused on the action, not on the things that were happening on the side.
Yeah, there was something else at night too, which we'll get into, when we get to the match. But yeah, it was just fun. It was
Sammy
just
loses
fun.
The giant mouse trap.
The mouse trap, but I will say this.
With the PVC pipe that was like, obviously he could get up.
Exactly. But like the pulling of the string didn't work, but they made it work, which didn't look as terrible because when Johnny pulled it, he knew what to do, which was nice.
Right. Well, he's so experienced in mouse traps that he knew, like, oh, this didn't work. Let me pull this instead.
It went really bad.
So when the match was over and they went to the video package and the lights went down on them, it was dark. He stayed there. He didn't just get up like, "Oh, okay, we're done." He stayed there and struggled until they came and lifted the thing up. So.
Sammy and Kevin Owens were like the MVPs of the the weekend.
Yeah, so funny.
Great.
Funny.
So glad they re-signed.
Yeah, I am too. Women's tag match is next. Naomi, and Sasha.
Next.
I still can't get the names right.
Next.
Yeah,
it was okay.
It's fine. Whatever.
I was entertained by it.
New Day and Sheamus and Ridge. I missed it. The whole joke.
You only have a minute to talk about it. Do not talk longer than the match.
You know you're going out of order, right? The next one was the next one's Edge and AJ.
Yeah, that was next.
Because that's when I went. When I got the text to go to the floor, that women's match was just ending. So Edge and AJ were next.
Okay. Yep. My apologies.
Which was fantastic.
So AJ comes out. He's got a cut on his cheek, and even the commentary is like,
"It was from the pyro." They said,
"The
pyro
hit the set," is what they were saying. The giant star on the set. Liked it. I maybe thought it'd be a little better. I'd like to go back and rewatch it. And then we had Damian Priest who kind of linking up with Edge, and I think that's fun.
Okay, so where we were sitting, we were right on that aisle, and they kept making sure nobody was in the aisle. And I'm like, I wonder what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And then Michelle McCool was just sitting like over like next to us. I'm like, holy shit, the Undertaker's going to come out.
Yeah.
Because they kept moving family into the front row. Like wherever they were sitting, family went to the front row. I'm like, I looked at Michelle. I'm like, that's Undertaker's wife. Like the Undertaker is going to fucking walk right past here. That didn't happen. So they did walk someone who was in sweats and a mask and a hoodie. They hit him down like in the bell ringer area. And then all of a sudden, Priest pops up, slides right into ringside where AJ was about to jump off the top rope. The magic that you don't see, on TV, it was very cool. Overall, I think this is good. I said a while ago, I thought Edge and Priest would have been a good Mania match. Now that they're a thing together, the Edgertaker is pretty awesome, and there's supposed to be one more person joining. Get it? Edgertaker?
I hear two.
Oh, two? Oh.
I hear two more people. One guy, one girl.
Who, Joe?
Yeah, the rumors are basically saying the girl's going to be Rhea Ripley because she's going to turn on Liv next week, and you know how and her and Priest are already and the last one is going to be Tommaso Ciampa.
That
would be a great stable.
Too.
Okay, Tommaso.
Yeah, but Ciampa's are older than Edge.
Yeah.
Well, close to no.
He's not older, but he's
older. He's older.
Old.
Yeah, but Damian Priest is old too.
Oh yeah, but no, Edge is very, very old.
If those four, I'll take it.
Yeah, Rhea does nothing for me.
I would say I love Edge. I am.
Then why didn't you choose him?
Say it again. I am. Edge is one of my top 5 of all time. I love Edge. Love him.
Yes.
I love AJ. That was a no-lose situation in that match because I was just like, I want a great match. No betting what we had. I didn't care because I wanted an amazing match. I left a little underwhelmed just for the fact where it's like you saw Damian Priest post on the Edge and you're like, okay, now I know the ending. I'm not going to be surprised or whatever. But up to that point, it was pretty decent back and forth. What was it? 24-30 or something. It was a decently long match. I would have rather had a Damian Priest running versus him on the side just posing out to the crowd like a camera shot where you knew, okay, Edge is going to win. I don't care anymore. That was my only gripe about that match. Up to that point, I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the match. And the nice thing is, it's going to lead into WrestleMania Backlash or the next event. Monday Night Raw, Edge came out where him and Priest had a really awkward back and forth. But Edge, amazing on the mic. I love his character. Damian will grow into being more of a heel. Joe, if what you're saying with Rhea and Ciampa joining in, Edge will make them all megastars.
Next week, our 5 count will be to figure out the name for this new faction.
Edgehead. Not bad. Edgehead's been taken. La Familia. All right, so we got
the beautiful people.
Officially had New Day versus Sheamus and Ridge, and it lived true to me. I went to take a piss, and when I came back, it was over. The old it's piss break. I couldn't believe it.
The new women's match.
Huh?
Remember the women's match at Mania used to be
women's break used to be the piss break.
When it was Candice Michelle versus Tori Wilson, right?
The women just elevated, and now it's the filler match.
Yeah, and that match was supposed to be night 1 and timing issues. So I mean,
it was garbage.
You feel like don't even do it at all if you're going to do it that long. But
next,
Undertaker comes back out again. I didn't really understand why, but I guess.
For both night crowds.
If you only bought ticket for Sunday, then you get that moment. So
I got it.
I can live with that. Pat McAfee, Austin Theory. Loved Pat's entrance, the Cowboy cheerleaders, 7 Nation Army. That was fun. And I mean, this is one I was super excited for, and it completely delivered.
I couldn't stop smiling and just loving every minute of the match. As a guy that didn't get McAfee at first, I'm all in. If his shirt that was for sale at Access wasn't a tank top, I would have bought it. But it was a tank top. It was a tank top, yeah.
For me,
Kevin just ordered 2.
It was just one of those things. And then with all the extracurriculars, he literally had every wrestling fan's dream.
Right.
He wrestled at WrestleMania. He got punched by Vince McMahon. He got to drink beers with Stone Cold. He got stunned. Have you seen the gif of him on the ground?
Yes.
Loved it.
Monday morning when we were at the airport, I was watching his YouTube show and he was like, we were supposed to leave and we didn't leave until like 3. And he goes, I walked into the studio about a minute before we started. Like he was like, I'm drunk, I'm hungover.
Yeah.
And just, they talked all about it. But that GIF, he was like, that is the one thing I was just trying to get it all down. And then obviously McAfee taking that stunner where he went down and spit out was unbelievable.
He took a good stunner. Austin Theory took an arguably best stunner ever. He was like in there kicking his feet, like he was Super Mario or some shit.
I still think The Rock's.
Vince may have taken the worst stunner.
He made Linda's look like The Rock's.
Yeah.
Vince looked like, his head looked the same. And how old is Vince? 75?
76 and off the juice.
But 76 off the juice. Doesn't matter if he's on steroids or not. Vince is 76 years old. Okay, in there, literally in the fucking ring, right, against Stone Cold. But getting the knee in the gut, falling over, forgetting where the hell he is.
Well, no. He's old, so he lost his footing. The thing is,
he's buckled. It just looked weird.
Well, the WWE's video team, have you seen their Twitter edit? Looks fucking amazing. Looks like it looks like it was just the edit they made was unbelievable. And I was told from a contact, a source, if you will, they didn't know if he was going to do it or not. It was a game time decision. That wasn't written.
So it was all Vince.
Yeah.
But Vince, but the thing is that Vince is, as weird as it was, Stone Cold, smile on his face. 100%.
Oh, because he knew.
Oh, yeah. He knew.
He knew it was terrible.
Right? Yeah. No, that was great.
That's what made it not entirely awkward.
Yeah.
I think everybody knows, right? Like, Vince was bad when he was in his prime.
50s.
He was bad. He's not going to get any better. If you don't get it by now, then you're never going to get it. Vince he reacted. They played Austin Theory's music.
And he thought it was Stone Cold.
He thought it was Stone Cold. He kind of like looked around.
It happened twice.
Oh,
it happened twice.
So, hey, that's fun. That's fun. It's fine. All right. So then, we get to Roman versus Brock. I don't think it delivered. I thought it could have been longer. Did Roman get hurt for real? Jason,
he got hurt. Did you see the video?
Yeah, did you see?
His arm popped out.
I don't.
That is dislocated.
I'm not looking at it that closely, right? So,
Mr. Video Edit Guy, Mr. Camera Shots, you're not looking at that closely, but Kevin Dunn's.
I was joking.
Tug.
But I don't know. Roman wins, and is what it is. I thought it could have been longer, but it is what it is.
One I'll say at the beginning.
Champ. Yeah.
Brock took off the gloves at the beginning. You saw Roman be like, "Oh no!" That was pretty cool. I knew the result.
Yeah, nothing too.
We all inevitably thought was going to happen. I thought it would be a little bit more than just the back and forth and the spear for the 1, 2, 3. I was hoping it would be a little bit more ass kicking to lead to Brock losing clean in the middle of the ring. I didn't mind the match though. I thought it was pretty decent.
Being ringside. I mean,
what row were you in? I don't remember you saying.
I was in the 6th row at WrestleMania, and I was at 31 when him and Roman had the first match where Seth cashed in, and that was a great match. Yeah, you were there too.
I was.
And then being there for this one, in the 6th row, it just felt like it was just a big match feel.
Yeah.
I don't know if where I was sitting before it would have felt that way, but I can't wait to get back to watch it. I just finished Edge and AJ, and I'm going to watch McAfee stuff because I heard Michael Cole on commentary was losing his shit because Pat's his friend.
Oh, yeah, it was. And
I
it
can't
was
wait
hilarious.
to hear.
You'll love it.
I can't wait to hear Cole's commentary on that.
That's
look,
great.
we all knew that was going to happen. The big question really was, is The Rock going to show up? And he didn't, and I'm okay with that.
I was surprised he did not. Were you surprised being there live?
I mean, look, I'm not gonna lie. I had my phone up at the entrance just in case, because the night before I held my phone up and I was recording stuff because I wanted the glass break. I wanted Austin and I wanted the explosion, and it just kept going on and on and on. And I literally hit stop and the fucking glass broke. So I was like, all right, I'm not missing this again. So just in case The Rock showed up. And like I said last week, too many things can go wrong with a 1-year build. Let him do it at SummerSlam. We'll all hopefully be there. At least I will.
Well, I won't. For SummerSlam. Yeah, sorry. Yes, I will be there for SummerSlam. I thought Mania LA, we already got some issues with that, unfortunately.
We'll talk off air for that.
Indeed, we will. All right, so that is WrestleMania. One last thing on WrestleMania. Congrats to our shirt champion, Joe. Joe, would you like to say an acceptance speech for making the most Mania?
This is my piss break.
Wow.
Kidding. Still here.
No, it's just basically I just loved WrestleMania the whole weekend. That's the other plate of crow I have to eat, because I was the one who was most
you hate WWE.
I was like, this build is nothing. I have no excitement level, blah, blah, blah. I would rank this probably the third best WrestleMania I've ever seen.
Wow.
Behind 17 is number 1, or X7 if you want to be a jerk about it. And 19 was number 2 for me. But this one is 3. Easy.
My goodness.
Easy 3. I loved both nights. Nothing made me upset. And winning the shirts just made it even better for me.
What shirts did you pick, Joe?
I picked.
No, I'm serious. I don't remember.
I picked the SummerSlam throwback one, the red one. Yeah. I took the DX Triple H Shawn Michaels cross.
Okay. Yeah.
And of course from the stupid No Holds Barred movie, the Hulk Hogan Rip 'em shirt.
I showed
the blue and white, not the white and blue.
Yeah.
I showed Laura that shirt and she's like, "What is that?" And
it's from No Holds Barred.
Holds Barred, and she's like, "What is that?"
It's a terrible movie.
You got to make her watch No Holds Barred.
I was like, girl, you're about to get it.
I think it's on Hulu. I made my wife watch it, and she's like, "This is so terrible." And I'm like, "Yes, and that's what makes it amazing." It's like, "This is bad." I'm like, "It's getting worse. It's gonna get worse."
Late 80s entertainment.
I love how bad that movie is, and they thought that was gonna make Hulk Hogan a movie star.
The only thing better about your
like fucking froze. Seriously,
Kevin,
you froze.
Was he setting me? Were you guys setting me up for something?
No, he was. He was going to probably talk about the chain you got, because last year you won the MVP chain. This year you get the Word Life.
I didn't need a chain. I didn't think we were doing that again.
Yeah, we were doing chain.
Okay. Yeah, I thought I was just going to mail this to whoever was winning it.
Oh no, you win every year. Everyone, a chain now is part of the deal.
Joe, you get to wear both chains next year.
Yeah.
You mean every episode from now on? No, I'm just
whatever.
Kidding.
It's yours. Do what you want.
Yeah. No, I went 12-2. The only matches I lost was Ronda Rousey, which we all did. Yeah. And I lost. I thought Austin Theory was going to win because I said McMahon in the corner. He finds a way to win. He did, because he actually won his match, but.
Yeah, we did not have that match on our
unsanctioned. Doesn't count.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I think Jason, you picked McAfee, didn't you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I did.
Joe, I don't like this because now I can't say you cheated on behalf of your wife last year.
She
actually got it this year, so I have to
fair and square.
She actually probably wrote all the picks down, and he had to.
No, she would have.
That's why he's wearing the sunglasses, so we wouldn't see his eyes going down to her picks. That's probably what it was.
Right, that's what it was. Yeah. I knew it. I called it last night, during. I'm like, Jason's gonna say something, but anyway,
I'll say this: congratulations. And fuck you.
Wow.
Okay, Mister, I won both Rumbles, and you're complaining.
Look at that.
I think Brian and Jason need to complain more.
I'm not going to complain because
you went there. You had
row at WrestleMania.
What row? What row?
Sixth row.
I think there should be every time
Seats
you
3 and
mention.
4.
I think for future episodes, every time you mention that you were in sixth row, there should be a bell ringing that goes off in the background.
No, I'm not doing that shit in post production. Get the fuck out of here.
Ding, ding, ding. The 10 bell salute.
Kevin, you gotta go, right?
Huh?
Kev, you gotta go, right? Is that what you said?
I do. But Joe, congrats for the last 6 shirts in Mania. And I got the last 6 shirts in Rumble. Joe won the last 6 shirts in Rumble, as I just said. Jay was in the 6th row of Mania. I am buzzed. And Brian, you're a loser.
Thank you.
You could have set that up with it. Brian only has 6 shirts. You had it set up.
All good. All right.
I'm not editing that either. So,
Brian,
Kev, enjoy Florida. You've
Yeah,
done-
go-
you've done
go.
good work. Cheers.
don't forget my mug.
And
Yeah.
mine.
yes.
Well, the people agree with us, guys. We did our at that WrestlePod poll. What did you think of WrestleMania? 56% said thumbs up, 31% thumbs middle, which I was like, oh, really? But
Fuck you.
6% thumbs
Thanks
down,
for following.
and 7% people just voted excited for Veer on Raw. So
Before
that got a little vote
Hey.
there too.
we get out of here, did you guys see the Fightful headline about Veer?
I saw, yes.
Veer comes hard on Dominic, makes him
Yeah.
submit.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if that. I mean, obviously,
They knew what they were
I
doing.
mean, look, yeah, and that's awesome. I
Yeah,
mean,
that's the
I was
joke,
not a
right?
fan of Sean Ross Sapp because of the spoilers and shit or the reports about Punk, but like, that's good shit. You know, Sean Ross Sapp was in a match at the GCW and got nutshotted by Denise Salcedo. So go check that out, GCW. And so this is obviously, if you're listening to this, it is Thursday morning. Next week, we will finally be back to a Friday morning released episode. Travel things have all, messed that up over the last couple weeks. I'm not the host, but I was in the 6th row at WrestleMania this weekend.
Well done. Well done. Yeah, I mean, we're not going to review Raw, but before we say our final goodbye,
happened.
Cody cut a promo. He wants the title for Dusty. Elias's younger brother, Ezekiel, showed up, which
It would have been better. It would have been better if he'd have said twin brother, not younger brother.
Yeah.
Well, don't you notice my name?
Yes,
No.
I see on there.
Jebediah, Joe's younger brother.
Yeah.
Not your best work.
We got Braun as NXT champ again. MVP turns on Lashley as Jason predicted.
called.
Veer came and a weird ending promo.
Clip.
What just happened? I missed it.
What did you just say? What was the last thing you said?
Let's do an instant replay.
Veer came.
Yeah, that's exactly how I have it in my notes. Yes, I made the same joke. All right, good times. And yeah, weird ending. Roman just said, I don't think, even though they were in Dallas, I don't think Romo was on the show. But Roman, he cut a promo saying, "See you on SmackDown." So that was very weird. Dark match was Owens versus Cody. I don't know if you guys saw a clip, but Owens did the Bucks post. That's fantastic.
Kevin Owens is a national treasure.
Looking forward to getting back onto this on regular schedule next week. Jay, glad you had a great trip at WrestleMania, something that you're certainly going to remember for a long, long time. And Joe, congrats on your shirt victory.
Thank you.
Again, at that WrestlePod for the socials on the Twitter, the Facebook, the Instagram, our YouTube page. We have a video that has over 2,000 views, and I swear it's not all from me.
It's up to debate.
You left the table a lot on Saturday, and then all of a sudden we hit 2,000. I'm just saying, it's real suspicious.
I mean, that video is only like 6 seconds long. It wouldn't take that hard to watch it that many times.
So next week we're going to look at my Internet Explorer search history to see where I've been browsing, and
Chrome. Don't try to pull that.
You're right. I'm a Chrome guy. You're right.
I am a Chrome
All right,
guy,
friends. Enjoy wrestling in the near future, whatever day you're listening to this. And we will talk to you next week on That Wrestling Podcast.
Thanks for listening. Follow That WrestlePod on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube.
1, 2, 3. That's it.